As you guys know, the C route is one of the biggest bailout routes in Madden 23, although I do think there's a better route that you guys can use against any coverage. But in today's video, I'm gonna share with you guys a coverage tip that you guys can put into your defense to help neutralize this tactic and make your opponents have to go to something else on 3rd and long. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zam from Zam Madden YouTube channel. And as you guys know, the C route is definitely the most popular route that players will go to on 3rd and long. There's a lot of definite tells to this and how players are typically going to operate with this. A lot of players know at this point in the year that an outside third by your outside corner is a great way to at least keep a guy in the area over the top of a C route. So they'll motion a player over and then they'll run a streak in a C route, which will pull that outside third, making the C route once again wide open. So there's a lot of players out there that struggle with this, you know, kind of that higher level way to stop this. And I want to share with you guys an adjustment in today's video that I think will help you guys out significantly. Now, I'm going to show this to you two different ways. The first way is going to be straight out of a man-to-man coverage play. And there's going to be some obvious tells to what we're doing to counter it. And then I'm going to show you guys a way that is even higher level that hides what we're going to do from an adjustment standpoint. And your opponent shouldn't be able to tell too much from it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, we showed you guys kind of in the beginning, the C route is very, very dangerous. This is a route that you want to use the hot route version of it, not the stock C route. So if you call a play like corner strike, make sure you guys are hot routing the extra notches into your C route. And what you'll see is that if we just basically play man-to-man coverage against it, it absolutely smokes it more often than not. And then in a lot of cases, if they get the rare animation like you saw right there where it doesn't get cooked by it, then you end up with a situation where you could just basically aggressive catch it. So basically they play for this animation and then high ball rack it, or they'll just ag you if you get a regular animation. So we've got to put in some adjustments that will help kind of curb this tactic. So what we're going to do is we are going to play a press alignment where we are going to shade over the top with a universal adjustment. Now, if you want to, you can do a separate universal adjustment where we have now shaded over the top to say we're not pressing, and then you're going to hit Y and then right stick right to shade outside. But what I want to do is I kind of want to show you guys what that looks like when we do this. So if I hit Y, right stick right, you see how everybody definitely flinched to the outside of the of their wide receivers. This is something you don't want, but this adjustment is fairly decent. It's not 100%, but it's fairly decent at playing the C route. And you see right there that if we go to throw that, you're going to get a pass breakup without any safety help over the top. This is much preferred to the tactic that most players use right now, which is to play an outside quarter or an outside third on this, which in a lot of cases is trouble because then they end up having to take somebody else on the field and man up this player. And this tactic does work, but again, the issue lies in the fact that, you know, we can basically just take 2 players out of the play with a regular streak. Yes, it will stop a C route, but it's not really that great in terms of anything else because you're just basically doubling it. So we're trying to give you guys a way to shut this down without having to allocate a true double team to this tactic. So we'll show you a few different things, but back to that idea of kind of shading, right? We notice that in the man coverage based plays that players flinch, right? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a tactic that you can do. And in this particular tactic, we're actually going to call quarters and we're going to turn match on. And with this particular call, what you're going to do is you are going to, whenever you think you are going to get that C route, I want you to notice that if I hit shade outside, you see nobody moves. So you can actually shade outside on this, but keep in mind on the back side of this coverage that we do have what is called solo check. So in solo check, it actually is press man-to-man. So you don't necessarily want that because a lot of times they'll beat the press animation. In this situation, it plays great. You see that even with a route ability lighten up, it doesn't work, and we still were able to bag that adjustment. So it's basically man-to-man on the backside by playing quarters, but with that shade, we're actually able to play it pretty well. Now, something that I want to show you is that if you were to just individually shade, you can hit Y or triangle depending on your console. Then you're going to hit A or X if you're on PlayStation, and it's going to bring up icons for every receiver. You're going to choose the receiver you think is going to run the C route, in which case this is Mike Evans. It's going to bring up coverage, and it's going to show you back off, shade left, shade right, or press. If you hit shade left on this by flicking the right stick to the left, that is going to tell the man coverage on the backside, hey, I want you to play that C route to the outside. And you're gonna see here in this example that he's not playing press, but he stacks that route so beautifully, and that's a click on interception without having to play a press animation. So let's say that you have a corner on the outside that has low press. Let's say you have that new Deion Sanders in Mutt. You did your levels, and he's not a great press corner, but he's a great cover corner. This is a good tactic to use from off alignment with him. Now, if you have a absolute beast of a press corner, feel free to roll up in press coverage by individually shading to press and then individually shading to shade left. And, you know, you got to roll the dice with that because sometimes they're going to get off the jam well. But this is a great animation you see right there. It does fire with a route ability. That's kind of the downside to it. Notice how when we play the press that it does light up his route ability. I think it's mid-in where he's lighting up as he cuts outside. But in off alignment, if we just shade that direction, he doesn't light up, which is kind of a big deal, you know? So you see right there, in that situation, he did end up beating him on that C route. But you're gonna notice that overall, the shading to the outside or shading relative to the receiver individually, which would be left, would help you significantly. So again, right here, we could maybe go ahead and shade left. And then if I wanted to, maybe just kind of walk him down a couple steps. He's not going to jam or shouldn't jam, but it might allow him to play a little bit tighter to this route. Actually, he got fried in that example. So don't listen to me necessarily on that. But again, you can fiddle around based off of what type of corner you have. If you have a guy who's kind of a good press corner, you might roll up and press and shade outside. If you have a guy who can't press, definitely stay off in alignment and shade outside. Obviously, be careful when you're pressing if they have a route ability, because in a lot of cases, that'll get you fried as well. But this is a pretty good adjustment that you guys can use. Now, we're not done. I want to show you one other adjustment. So that was out of match, right? I want to show you what this looks like if we were to do this out of like Tampa 2. This is actually a really, really cool trick. So we do have match on, as you guys remember. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my outside corner X into an outside quarter. So now he's playing what would be viewed as a deep outside quarter zone. But because match is on and that's a solo receiver, he is actually playing match coverage on this. So if you individually shade Evans to the left, now that player, even though it looks like he's playing an outside quarter zone, is really playing match coverage on him. So you guys can actually do this little trick. You see, that's definitely not a zone. That's a man-to-man check, right? So let's say you wanted to combine everything that I just taught you here in this video. You could, in theory, call Tampa 2, play your outside corner on match setting in your coach settings in an outside quarter, and then universally shade your entire coverage outside, which would tell basically him individually, the guy that we changed the quarter, to play his zone and match like you see at the start of the video. Now we have a safety bracket without having to really cheat on it like I showed you earlier, where we played an outside third and then man to safety. Really what we're doing is we're playing a more logical coverage and individually tuning what we want. I mean, this is basically Tampa 2 where we're telling the backside corner, hey, you're in man-to-man on this guy. Now, of course, the flat zone underneath is open, but you've got to give something up. It's football at the end of the day. But this is a way that you're going to have a really, really solid opportunity to shut down one of the most popular bailout routes in Madden with outside shading in man, or using quarters, or turning on your match switch and putting your guy into an outside quarter in a zone play. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. This is something that I teach on Gridiron Game Plans. This is something, all these little coverage checks are things that I teach the members of the website within my Over G game plan, within the vault tips that we teach, teaching you guys how to stay on top of the most popular offensive metas and how to counter them. So this is all kind of conceptual stuff that we try to teach, and I hope this helped you guys out. If you guys want more, head over to gridirongameplans.gg. $9.95 unlocks the entire website, plus our members only Discord. You get everything. That's over 100 vault videos that we've released and everything that I'll release moving forward, offensive and defensive game plans, and access to the Gridiron Discord while your membership is active. So hopefully we'll see you guys over there on the website. If not, make sure you guys are subbed right here. Hit that like button, comment below. We'll see you guys tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.